So we've been keeping really quiet for a while on Assassin's Creed, and I know everyone's really anxious to see the next live demo, which we're going to come out with at this year's E3. What we're showing you right now is in-game footage that really highlights all of the attention to detail and really the blockbuster game experience that we're delivering. So we're giving you a sneak peek at different environments that you're going to see, the breadth of the world, some of the awesome fighting moves that you're going to get to do, a really cool thing which is one of my favorites called Leap of Faith you see featured at the end. And it's really just to tease, but also to bring out and appreciate all of the detailed work that's gone into this, because when you're in the heat of the action and playing the game and you have 10 guards on your back and you're running up the walls and jumping across things, you don't have time to appreciate all of the animation detail, the fluidity, and really the detail in the environments. So this is like a little sneak peek at what you're going to get to see at E3. Last year at E3 we had a little demo map of a town called Acre. Since then we've been building out the whole Holy Land. So now we have the real map of Acre, which is 15 times the size of what we had at E3 last year. On top of that we have two other huge cities. We have Jerusalem and Damascus, all based on the historical documents from the year 1191. Plus you have a huge basically kingdom that connects all of these places, so a lot of room to explore. We created a whole separate graphics engine for the cities and then we have for the terrain. And then on top of that we have the Assassin Stronghold, which is this crazy huge building on top of a mountain, really impressive. And then we also have a historical setting at the end of the game that you'll get to see, which is Arsif, which is where the historic battle took place between Saladin's army and Richard the Lionheart. So we've been building like a huge game. Since we're making a historical game and we have this level of detail and polish and realism, we also wanted the fight to be realistic. But we didn't want to lose the wow factor in a realistic fight. So yes, you can't take, a million blows to the head and not die, but you do have a lot of really flashy counters and stuff like that, that even though it's realistic, keep the fight really exciting and dynamic and different. And so what you're going to see is some of the super powerful counter moves close up, and there's a huge variety of them, and it's all about picking the right timing to unleash these, the right position, and also depending on the way that your opponent is attacking you, and you're going to see some of those up close. What you're seeing in the background here is the feather and the assassin blade. The assassin blade, I think, is the coolest weapon that's ever been in any game. You're going to see a close-up of it in the video. And the feather is actually the assassin's signature. So what happens is when your big boss of the assassin sends you out on a mission, he sends off these messenger pigeons to the bureau, the assassin bureau in the city, where you have to go track down and kill this guy. After you're done with your investigation, you're ready and you've proven you collected the right info and you're ready to start your mission, you go back and see the bureau leader and he hands you a feather from one of the messenger pigeons that was sent over. And then basically as proof, after you've killed the guy, you swipe the feather in his blood and you give it back to the bureau leader to kind of say the mission is done. I wouldn't necessarily say Assassin's Creed is a stealth game, because every single mission that you have to do, whether it's part of the investigation missions or whether it's part of an assassination mission, you can take any approach that you'd like. So yes, we've talked a lot about social stealth and the idea that you want to blend in with the crowd and not be noticed, but there's multiple ways to do that. So you can use the crowd. That may be a more slow pace because you don't want to attract attention to yourself approach, but you can also use your acrobatic free running abilities. So you can actually, take a more puzzle approach to the environment, say, okay, I see that beam is connected to there, I can get up there without anyone noticing me and get around that way. Or you can take a full-fledged, straight-on action approach and just go in there with your, weapon of choice out and just try and take all the guys out and blaze the trail. It's really completely up to you. So the historical accuracy is actually pretty important to the team, and we started working with a historian early on to get all of the reference materials, to dig up stuff from libraries that we maybe wouldn't have had access to, get all of the art and stuff like that. And then we also worked with other historians as reviewers throughout the process. So we had one historian who worked on Ridley Scott's Kingdom of Heaven do a full review of our script and also look at in-game footage to give us feedback on the art direction and everything else. And we had another guy who is a historian from England who I think is the expert on Third Crusade at Oxford, so that we would also get the European perspective and working with the US experts. And they were pretty blown away. I mean, we were expecting to get, a lot of feedback like, oh, change this, change that. And what we got was kind of more like, oh my God, it feels like I'm exactly there. Like, it shows that you guys went to Jerusalem. It feels exactly like this. Or, the market is super authentic. And because the people on the team took it seriously themselves. So even, you have to track down some information at a particular souk in Damascus, and the people on the team, I wasn't aware of this, had actually spent time to research what the name of the souk at the time was, and made sure that the structure of the souk was not the post-Ottoman style. It was the style that existed during the game, and so the historians were like, whoa. So I was pretty amazed at his feedback, and I think like if you're into that kind of detail, then it's cool. If not, then we spent a lot of time and and you don't care.